Judge Joe Brown's all-new barbecue sauce and seasoning. Justice in the form of flavor.
Law firms will take this as a retainer.
What? It must be a law firm where they hungry as hell. Now you gonna help me with this parole I'm dealing with?
Judge Joe Brown's all-new barbecue sauce and seasoning. Justice in the form of flavor. With one taste of our premium blends of all-natural ingredients, herbs, and spices, you'll fall in love with meat all over again. Judge Joe Brown's all-natural barbecue sauce collection is made up of 2 zesty flavors, original and spicy. There's only one way to bring order back to barbecuing. Just add Judge Joe Brown's all-natural barbecue sauce and seasoning, and you be the judge.
Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. Let me know if you guys can hear me. All right. I kind of messed up with the intro because the thumbnail on the intro with the music and the countdown, the word assassin is spelled incorrectly, and I forgot to put the correct thumbnail because I corrected assassins in the thumbnail, and so my thumbnail for the show, the thumbnail in the background here is spelled correctly. I just forgot to put the right thumbnail for the intro. So if anybody saw that, it was a little snafu. I do spell check. I know how to spell check, honey. But anyway, hi guys. Let me know if you can hear me. Thank you. Hi, Lamel. Food chill. Honey, I don't see none of my moms, honey. What is Catalia? Because she usually here early. I don't see Southern Belle yet. She'll be coming up. Of course, the judge will be coming up soon. Yes, we have a lot to talk about. Because it was breaking news over the weekend. You know, it was an assassination attempt on President Donald Trump's life at a PA rally on Saturday night. Today is the first day of the Republican Convention. Yes. We got to talk about that. We all know by now he picked Senator JD Vance to be his vice president running mate. Yes. And it was another bombshell that came out today, honey. The Judge Glenville from Fulton County that was overseeing the YSL case, he has been removed. But I remember the judge saying that if this judge is removed, most likely it'll be a mistrial. However, they assigned another judge to this case. So, of course, I'm going to have Judge Joe Brown when he come up to talk about what are the different possibilities that could happen next, right, with the YSL. But, honey, it's not looking good for Fannie. Oh, it was a third breaking news today. So, first breaking news, JD Vance is, he was selected by Donald Trump to be his vice president running mate. The second one was the YSL judge, Judge Glenville, was removed from the case. And the third, federal judge, Judge Cannon, he dismissed the Florida case of the classified documents of Donald Trump. Yes. What does that mean? That means, Fanny girl, you better go run and hide because you ain't getting reelected as DA. You losing a YSL case and you about to lose the Trump RICO election case out of Fulton County, and rightfully so, because you're corrupt. All of Fulton County is corrupt. So we're going to talk about all that tonight. Hi, Catalia. I see you. Thank you, Bob Gable Judge. It looks like a setup to me. Well, which part? So, you know, I do this new thing now. I do like a little monologue while we wait for the judge to come up because y'all tired of hearing me complain. Oh, the judge have Pony Express Wi-Fi, blah, blah, blah. And I'm tired of talking about that too. So, yes, honey, Fanny got problems. So I do a little monologue, you know, until he comes up. And I may talk about something random or something to the multiple topics. And I want to first start off by saying, guys, please share this video. Please share it on all of your social media outlets. Hit the like button. Hello to everybody on X. Please like and repost on X. Yes. Hello to everybody that's watching via my website, therealdananetwork.com. Go to the website and subscribe to the mailing list. I got to do some updates to the website because the subscription one I had, I'm about to get rid of that because I need to update it. But stay tuned. What else? I went to the gym today. I thought I was losing weight, honey. I think I gained 20 pounds. Ooh, I'm already overweight. And summertime with women, we put on water weight. So it's not necessarily fat weight. We put on water weight in the summer. So I'm putting on water weight on top of the weight that I have to lose. And it's like I'm perimenopausal. Oh my God, I'm a hot mess. So I'm about to hire a personal trainer. Because my problem is not being consistent. Yes, I go hiking, but I only went hiking twice last week. I was supposed to go hiking Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's why I went to the gym today. I need to be consistent. I don't know how to be consistent when it comes to workout because that's one of my displeasures in life. I don't like working out. Maybe if I was in some type of sports growing up, I didn't want to be in sports because I didn't want to do all that sweating. However, I have to work out. I'm getting older, bone density. I have to lift weights. I need to take vitamins, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. I did go to the gym today. I'm going to make it my business to go hiking tomorrow. And I'm going to go back to the gym twice this week. And I'm going to sign up for a personal trainer this week as well. Yes. Try 1 hour outside in the heat or sauna to lose. Yes. Yes. And I was thinking about that today. I want to get like those sauna jackets, shirts, pullover, sweatsuits. I want to get that and maybe put that on when I go hiking. But when I do it for the first time, I don't think I want to be by myself just in case I pass out because they may get too hot. However, it hasn't been that hot here. Like we have perfect weather in the summertime here. It's like it went up to 82 today. Over the weekend, it was hot. 85 is hot here, right? But it's still perfect. Oh, honey, back home in New Jersey, it's like high 90s. Oh, no. Along with a sweatsuit, that's going to be too much. The sweatsuit, I'll get the sweat thing that you put over the top part. I can't do the whole body. A good workout, you will sweat. Yeah, and that's the problem. Sometimes it's like, you know what it is? It's getting up going is the hardest part. But once you're in it, and then you get past the first 10 minutes, past the warm up, and then your blood start moving around, circulating, and you get that energy. But I feel so much better after the workout, after the class, after the hike or whatever. You just feel like you could just go through your whole day, right? But it's getting started. That's the key, getting started. And that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part. Miss Dana, all ladies, my first wife had a family that experienced menopause early and it was very rough. My wife at the time had such a hard time when she was born. Yeah, I'm not in menopause, but we start perimenopause, I believe, at 40. Definitely at 45. Menopause doesn't come, I think, into mid 50s. Yeah, like 55. So I have time before menopause, but I'm in perimenopause. And you know what we throughout the years, that's not talked about. You know, people don't talk about menopause, but I'm starting to see like Halle Berry and a couple other celebrities talk more about menopause. And I think that is great. And I'm actually going to start a podcast about menopause and women's stuff. All right. So listen, what I want to talk about for the monologue, it'll be something. Oh, I see the judge. So I won't. That was my monologue. My gym dilemma, honey, but not the gym dilemma, the workout, the exercise dilemma was my monologue. We got to talk about the Secret Service. We got to talk about the DEI Secret Service. Yes. Yes, Faith. Yes. And you know what? And it breaks away from me talking about current events and politics. No, I want to talk about menopause, honey. We're going to talk about menopause. We're going to talk about dating after 40. We're going to talk about our sex lives after 40, which is wonderful. So yes, I can't wait to start that podcast. And I'm actually my goal is to start it in the fall. So I see the judge. Are you guys ready? Hi, Judge. How are you?
I'll manage. At
Yeah.
least in a mad rush.
You in a mad rush?
I said I'll manage at least in a mad rush.
Oh. All right. So listen, we do have a full show, right? Before we get into the RNC convention, I keep saying RNC, but it's it's RN convention, Republican.
Yeah, RNC, Republican
Right.
National Committee.
Committee.
Republican National Convention, excuse me.
Right. So it's not. So I don't need to say RNC convention. It's just RNC or RN convention or Republican convention. Yeah. And I think what I'm gonna do is share what's going on at a screen on top of us while we're doing the show. So it was a couple of speakers that was speaking tonight. And at first I'm like, is this the Black night for the Black speakers? You had the Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina, Tim Scott, another man, John somebody, Wesley Hunt. I'm like, well, damn, it's like 4 Black speakers. It's Black night. But so should we start with Secret Service or should we start with the YSL trial?
What's happening with the YSL trial?
Oh my God. I called you when it was breaking news.
I know, but you can tell us since you all do. Come on, tell us about it. What's it all about?
Well, breaking news, Judge Glenville was
removed.
Yes, he was removed. However, they did appoint another judge.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how it works out with him completing the trial since he wasn't there and he hasn't gotten the flavor of it, which is another thing where they just need to give this up because if it goes up on appeal, there are going to be all kinds of things. See, you can read the record, but you have to eyeball the witnesses. You have to listen to the witnesses to hear their tone, the body language, whether the witness made eye contact or was shifty, and so forth. And the judge has to witness this. The judge has to be present for the confrontation because the defendants are entitled to be confronted by their accusers. All right. So the judge needs to see these things. So it's impossible for the judge to pick these up from the transcript. The judge is the filter through which everything goes from the jury or to the jury or from the jury through him or the proceedings through him to the appellate court.
Mm-hmm. Well, it says here, Fulton County, Georgia, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Ural Glanville has been removed from the Young Thug YSL case in Fulton County. Fulton County Judge Rachel Krause issued her ruling on the motion submitted by attorneys for Jeffrey Williams and DeMonte Kendrick and attorney Kayla Bumpus on July 15. In her ruling, Krause stated that while the court has no doubt that Judge Glenville can and would continue presiding fairly over this matter if the recusal motions were denied, the necessity of preserving the public's confidence in the judicial system weighs in favor of excusing Judge Glenville from further handling of the case.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the motion, I guess, here, right? It says Krause granted both Kendrick and Williams' motion to recuse Judge Glenville. However, she denied Bumpus' motion to squash the show cause order and recuse Judge Glenville because it is moot, M-O-O-T.
Moot.
defense attorneys, particularly Young Thug's lawyer, Brian Steele, have been filing motions for months for a mistrial, claiming that Judge Glanville was biased against them and their clients. However, it was an ex parte meeting on June 10th between Judge Glanville, prosecutors from Fulton County District Attorney's Office, and state witness Kenneth Copeland that led to multiple requests for the recusal. An order, Krause said, that she generally agreed that Judge Glanville's assessment regarding propriety of the ex parte meeting, but she did note that the meeting could have or perhaps should have been held in open court. The initial recusal request went to Glanville, who denied it. Kendrick then tried to bypass Judge Glanville by appealing to the Georgia Supreme Court. They declined to consider it, but ordered another judge to review the motions, right? So he's been recused. What are the charges? We don't need to go through all that. We don't need to go who's on trial. So yeah, so he is recused. And what is going to happen next? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? I can hear you. Okay, he can't hear me. Can you guys hear both of us? Guys, let me know in the chat if you can hear me and if you can hear the judge.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Okay, so go out and come back in. Yeah, it's always something is always going to. Okay, so you can hear. Okay, so you guys can hear both of us. He couldn't hear me. So, and he's on the cell phone. So yeah, it's a little tricky. Sorry about that, guys. You know, it happens. It happens. I want to bring up, it was something else. Wasn't this one? It was, so I'll be just going to wait for the Judge Joe Brown to come back in. Statement Young Judge Brian Steele regarding recusal. All right, let's see. Oh no, he's not back yet. Actually, let me get this out of here. Remove from studio. Let me go here. Dana is part of the show. We understand. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're just waiting for the judge to come back. He couldn't hear me. So no, we didn't talk about JD Vance yet, honey. That is, we'll be talking about him soon. Okay, there you go. Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Okay, good. All right. So, all right. So, what are your thoughts on the judge being recused? And
what did I say in the past?
Well, you said that was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, but you also said if he is recused, it may be a mistrial.
It should be. If it's not, what's going on is a lack of experience above him that is going to run into this problem. So this thing's dead on arrival. It's a waste of time from here on out, unless the jury acquits everybody, in which case it served its purpose, but it stinks to high heavens at this point.
Well, this is the new judge that was assigned. Judge.
The difference, he hadn't heard the trial, so he doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know what's going on. She hadn't heard all of this. I'm telling you, when they bring this issue up about the judge not eyeballing the witnesses, being aware of the demeanor and demeaning and all of the rest of the stuff to assess credibility and make these judgment calls the judges are sometimes required to do, it's not going to wash.
But they had to assign another judge.
They what they should have done is declared a mistrial and reset the damn thing for further proceedings and assigned a new judge.
Her name is Judge Shakura L. Ingram. People don't know too much about her. She does not have a lot of RICO case experience.
The truth of the matter is very few people do, because a RICO charge is very rare. That's what makes it so weird with this one. One against the teachers, one against the rap artists, one against President of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody is from Georgia. You get it? Except the teachers. And that's a diffuse group. So it's kind of strange for RICO to be used that many times. And the RICO case that needs to be brought is against the district attorney, the sheriff, and some other people down in that county. So it's interesting that they do this.
Right.
Sometimes it's almost like a Freudian slip.
Mm-hmm.
And what you get is people that are in charge of something try to go after somebody else using something that should be used against them. So this isn't going anywhere.
Well, I want to read what Young Thug lawyer Brian Still, he released a statement. It says Jeffrey Williams is innocent of the charges brought in this indictment, and to clear his name, he sought a speedy trial, one in which he would receive the constitutional guarantees of a fair trial with an impartial judge presiding and ethical prosecutors following the law. Sadly, Judge Glenville and the prosecutors have run afoul of their duties under the law. Mr. Williams is grateful that the reviewing court agreed with him and entered the order recusing and disqualifying Judge Glenville from presiding over Mr. Williams' case. We look forward to proceeding with a trial judge who will fairly and faithfully follow the law.
Now, there was a 3-judge panel, right?
No, no, it was one judge who
wrote the
oversaw
appeal,
the recusal.
but there's 3 judges that heard it.
That heard what?
The appeal he just filed, the one we're talking about.
No, because they sent it to the Georgia Supreme Court. They did not to review it. So Judge Krause reviewed it. It was just one judge, and she
How did he get the authority to override somebody on the same level?
Because they gave it to her to rule on it.
You can't do that under the law they have. I mean, something's wrong about the reporting here. You can't have one judge on the same level as another judge undoing that one, unless it's a habeas corpus.
Yeah, it says Judge Rachel Krause issued her ruling on the motion submitted by her attorney.
But is Krause going to be the new judge?
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's probably a 3-judge panel at the intermediate appellate level that heard it. In this one, Krause wrote the opinion.
Okay.
That's like Justice Roberts wrote the opinion on affirmative action, but he wasn't the only judge that heard it.
I see what you're saying. So being that she released her opinion, it's as if she issued the judgment, the ruling. But did she officially give that ruling, or was she part?
Well, she did it on behalf of that appellate court.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're talking about.
Okay. I don't like those headphones.
Well, when you go into this, it suggests you put earphones on, and I can hear better with them, and you can hear me better because the microphone setup's apparently more functional than with the phone.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, the next thing I want to ask you, right? Because we got to talk about our girl.
Which one?
This one. So Trump co-defendant in Fulton County RICO case again asks court to disqualify District Attorney Fannie Willis. Georgia case in limbo as appeals court considers ruling allowing Fannie to remain on the case. So Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis should be removed from the election interference case against former President Donald Trump to uphold the integrity of the criminal system, a court filing on Monday said today. The Georgia Court of Appeals can use this case to establish that a prosecutor in the state. Can you mute for a second?
Okay, I'm trying to fix a cord attached.
I'm hearing a little bit of feedback. That's why.
Okay.
The Georgia Court of Appeals can use this case to establish that a prosecutor in the state who labors under an actual or perceived conflict of interest will be disqualified, the filing said. This will ensure that the public continues to have confidence in Georgia's judicial proceedings and that the guardrails of justice have upheld. All right.
Now, tell me, who issued this? What is this opinion again? Who issued this opinion?
The brief was filed by lawyers Ashley and John Merchant.
Okay, that's a brief. That's just
They are representing former Trump campaign official Mike Roman.
Okay, what that means is essentially that the lawyers just filed what they call a brief. That's all. It cites the position. It cites supporting law and precedent, and it argues in writing what they're trying to establish.
They want to get her removed.
Yes, and they should, because the public has lost all confidence in the integrity of this chick. She should be removed from office.
Right.
And she's got at least 5 bar complaints against her, not by individuals, but by bar associations and groups that are credible, and they state valid reasons for discipline for ethical purposes. Now, the rest of the stuff I think is going to result in her being subject to multiple indictments on both the state and federal level at this rate. So she's looking at a mess. It's going to be a much more serious edition of what happened up in Baltimore with their district attorney up there.
So when you look at the New York case, because that's on hold, when you look at the YSL, the YSL situation, you know, the judge today was recused and they're trying to get a mistrial, and that is her office prosecuting this case. So when you're taking all of these multiple hits, you know, and you're being investigated yourself, right? More than likely, and now, you know, with Trump had presidential immunity backed by the Supreme Court, her case against Trump is going to be the next one to fall apart.
Yeah, it's already fallen apart. I don't know. There's a rash of these things that's coming around. In Tennessee, we had one judge removed from the bench recently. As a matter of fact, I'm particularly concerned with that one because I was the first judge in that particular division of court 30-some years ago. And the incumbent judge, a black female, was removed. She was prosecuted and convicted of some criminal offenses. All right, there's another judge that deals with criminal matters. She got removed from some cases for some inappropriate behavior, and that's just in our system. So right here in Memphis, Shelby County, where I am, and then we have this. I think one of the problems is we have too many judges who are sitting on the bench who are not experts in the practice of law. They're amateurs. They have insufficient experience. The extent of what they've done, the breadth of what they've done is not sufficient. And they don't really understand it. There's just like the ignorance we're seeing in education generally, that also extends to the law profession too. And the other thing is that law in general has become a business rather than remaining a profession. In other words, how much money can I make at it as a business rather than having professional constraints? And that is a problem across the board. I see that on the U.S. Supreme Court. I think that Trump made some pretty good decisions when he put the 3 on the Supreme Court that he did. I've been reading their stuff, and it's sound and well written. Now, that may mean they have good law clerks who can write, but at least they pick the law clerks. And from reading some of the previous work they've done before they got on the the Supreme Court, a lot of it's very good. The Ketanji Brown Jackson, the 2 that Obama put in, it's lightweight stuff. It's emotional, and it's agenda driven rather than law driven. And by agenda, I mean it's rainbow stuff. So you don't have an agenda like that is a political, social agenda that colors your application of the law.
Well, what else? And I say it was like 3 breaking news today, and this was one of them. Donald Trump responds to the classified doc case being dropped. He says, first step. Former President Donald Trump immediately shared his reaction to the classified documents case being dropped, calling it the first step. Federal Judge Aileen Cannon, overseeing the case, issued the order on the grounds that special counsel Jack Smith was not properly appointed.
That's right. See, here's the thing. The federal system not appoints, but the federal system, the laws of the United States determine the proper proceedings. All right. Who does what, when, where, how. Okay. There is nothing in there that it allows him to be appointed as he got appointed. It's not where Congress appointed a special prosecutor. It's not where an appellate court with jurisdiction over the proceedings, ultimately by making a decision on whether it's kosher or not. It's somebody decided to pick somebody, and the person who picked him was a bureaucrat who doesn't have the designated authority. So the whole thing is a sham. That's what I said to begin with. This thing that they're calling lawfare is real. These people knew there's not a snowball's chance in hell of this stuff sticking on an appeal. So they don't care. They're doing it to sabotage Trump's ability to campaign and let him worry about it later. Well, it's too late now. So sorry, but we effed you up. See, that's what they're effectively doing, and that's not the way the law is supposed to work in this country. That's straight out of Nazi Germany. In fact, the only time I've ever encountered anything like this is I had a political science major, amongst other things, at UCLA, and the only time I've ever seen anything like this is what the Nazis did to their legal system in the early 1930s to gain control of Germany, to destroy the Weimar Republic and impose a Nazi fascist government. So,
well, I want to share so when this judgment came down, when the judge dismissed this case, Trump did share his thoughts on the decision. He says, as we move forward in uniting our nation after horrific events on Saturday, this dismissal of the lawless indictment in Florida should be just the first step, followed quickly by the dismissal of all the witch hunts, the January 6th hoax in Washington, D.C., the Manhattan DA zombie case, the New York AG scam, fake claims about a woman I never met, a decade-old photo in line with her then husband does not count, and the Georgia perfect phone call charges. The Democrat Justice Department coordinated all of these political attacks, which are an election interference conspiracy against Joe Biden's political opponent, me. Let us come together to end all weaponizations of our justice system and make America great again. So, with that said, this federal judge dismissing that classified document case, the New York case, that's basically done. They postponed the sentencing. What's going to happen with the RICO election case?
It's going to be dead.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, she'll be lucky if she doesn't get prosecuted.
She's under investigation now, because this is why that case is on hold until after October, because she's on investigation, and that investigation decision, whether for her to stay on this case or to be disbarred, it's not going to come down, I think, until September, October. So she's
and you got a national hero now, or at least to half the public. You know, that was a badass move after, you know, that you get, see what happened. If I can describe what happened to him in injuries, the shot is coming from about a little more than 100 yards away, which is.
Well, I didn't want to get into that right now.
I know, but what I'm just saying is this, not so much the shot. The shot drifts slightly because of the wind going down that particular road, and it drifts just a little bit, about that much away with the wind and Trump's movement. And it hits him, it goes through his ear, but there's a shock wave because it's going twice the speed of sound. And that shock wave impacts the skull. So he's dazed, and you can see him do that in the mist from where the bullet hits and does what it does to the flesh. He drops. He's like gotten hit by a boxer with a good blow. Bam. But he gets up, and the first thing is he probably took his shoes off, because I've done that too. They hurt when you're sitting there for a while and you start, feet hurt, okay? Women know how that works. So anyway, he says, let me get my shoes. I don't want to leave my shoes up here. And then he says, the hell with it. And he gives that fight, you know, and that takes a hell of a lot of presence of mind. And when somebody has been halfway knocked out and they're still going for bad, you know, like, hey, dude, got it going on, man. This dude didn't do like most people. Oh, God. And hide under the Secret Service. He's over him. Get me, sucker. You know, here I am if you still are around. So that's badass. You know, that's John Wayne stuff, you know, real life.
Really?
He comes off like, dude, real life badass. He ain't no punk, no doubt. You know, this is what it is. You know, this is the kind of thing that brave men are made of. And that's what we need. Not one of these punks running around trying to squeeze somebody's nipples or something, reach over, oh, or let me rub your arm. Oh, you know, with Biden probably would have shit his Pampers. And, you know, Kamala Harris would have probably pissed on herself. It'd still be running, smelling salts up under her nose. But it is what it is.
So wait. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the assassination attempt that took place this Saturday night in Butler, Pennsylvania. So I don't want to talk about the shooter per se. Like, I'm not going to show you this picture.
We don't need to talk about him.
Right.
He's just got one thing in common with every single shooter that has been, who has done this kind of thing or shot up a hallway, and a lot of them shooting up the hood. Every single one of them, going back to the 60s, where that guy got up on the tower down in Texas at the university, has been bullied and did not know how to handle bullying. And that's the common denominator. So we can move on from that. But what I'm concerned about is every kid playing a video game knows that if you're going to clear something, you make sure you secure any roof within several hundred yards with a clear line of sight to where your protectee is going to be. And they didn't. Nobody went up there. Nobody was there. The Secret Service protocols are they're supposed to send out a team to recon the area weeks, days before the target gets there or the protectee gets there, and they apparently didn't. Or if they did, they disregarded it, and some dumb bunny needs to be canned and demoted or fired. And the buck stops with the director, and the director was what? Head of security for Pepsi Cola. No, I don't even know if she was head of security. She just worked to deal with their headquarters security. She had been on Secret Service, but we don't know if she was on the security details or the counterfeit squad. See, the Secret Service also handles counterfeiting.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so we don't know what she was doing. She was on there, but she didn't apparently rise too high. And she was also Jill Biden's good buddy. They befriended each other, and Jill Biden was getting a lot of extra Secret Service protection, apparently, because she thought since she was running the country, like Mrs. Woodrow Wilson did back 100 and some years ago, she should get a lot of it. So there had been many requests, beef up Trump's security. We need it. And she just disregarded it. She let the ball drop. Her subordinates blew it on this one. The disgusting thing is from this. The Secret Service didn't take this guy out. It was the local police. And the local police two-man sniper team, which was to the right of Donald Trump by a few yards and 100 yards away from the target, they're saying, we've got a guy up on this roof with a weapon. Who is he? Is he one of yours? We don't know him. Is he one of yours? Shall we take him? And they don't, we'll be back with you. Look, this guy is up here. He's prone. He's aiming. What should we do? Should we take him? Now,
your audio went out. What happened? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear. I can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Oh, the son of a bitches don't want
to go out and come back in.
Am I back in now?
Go out and come back in.
Oh, these son of a bitches are trying to screw this. Hold on. Let me see if this gets it.
I can hear. You guys can wait, stop. They said they can hear you. I can't. Oh my God.
You can't hear me.
Okay, so we hear him. Oh my. Okay, keep talking. It's me. Go ahead.
Okay, what's going on is that the Secret Service the local police for 3 minutes before the shooting is saying, who is this guy? Now, I've seen stuff on X where they said, why didn't they shoot him? Well, let's take one event I observed one time. They had Los Angeles police there with their sniper unit for the SWAT team. They had the sheriff's department's sniper team there. They had the California Highway Patrol's sniper team there. They had a Secret Service sniper team there. So who works for who? There might be some guys in plain clothes and there might be some in uniform. You don't know. So when you have a target, you are asking, does anybody know this person? So you don't pull the trigger and find, oh shit, I killed one of the good guys. He was just plain clothes, which sometimes happens because it might be they called in extra and this guy just had to rush down and his stuff is in the trunk of his car and he takes it out and puts on what's necessary. They don't know him. But for 3 minutes, the police are saying we have a person with a rifle on the roof and he's aiming. Should we shoot him? Now, there is no response from Secret Service. That is the fault of the person in charge of the Secret Service. That training should have been put in place so that did not happen. It is a gross F-up. So one, the place was either reconned and the recon was ignored or it was not. Both of them are just as bad. Two, any dumb bunny 14 years old playing street combat on a vid game knows that you secure a line of sight roof when you are within range, which should be out to about 500 or 600 yards at least. Somebody should secure it and somebody ought to be checking to see what's up there. Where are the helicopters that are supposed to be doing that? Why was there no response? And then worst of all, when you get this situation after the shots are fired. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 before anybody got up there. And 11 seconds is more than it takes Usain Bolt to run 100 meters. So somebody was way too far away. There were no Secret Service agents within jump distance of where Trump was. Who is responsible for not having them up there? You see, the response was slow. After they got him off the stage, I mean, that was some badass shit, you know. I mean, that was just balls out cool. So when they get him off, they fumble around. They load up the vans clumsily, or the SUVs. Somebody's supposed to be in that driver's seat. Bam. Somebody's supposed to be in the passenger seat front. Bam. They put him in the middle, and that's a big Suburban. So they put him in the middle, and then there's supposed to be somebody on the outside on each side. And then there's somebody supposed to be in the very back in the tailgate section, because they've got a flip down hatch so that they can shoot out the back. It took them forever to get mounted up and get out of there. That was clumsy. That was awkward. I've been looking at these things from the response they had with Kennedy back in 1964. I've been looking at what they did with Robert Kennedy, what they did when they came up with Reagan getting hit, when all of this, or just getting a president out of there where nothing happens. That was the slowest I've seen in, 60 years. So, you know, this was just absolutely absurd. And this woman was in charge. It was DEI to the max. And I don't know what her career was like when she was with the Secret Service, but she wasn't there in the end. And apparently she did not have the management skills, the executive skills, or the command skills to deal with that, because this has been going on for a while. And it was just, we got to get somebody of a certain persuasion in there to run the place. And you got incompetence.
Let me ask you this, because if you see 3 women right here surrounding the car, it was, I think, 2 women on the stage as well.
Yes.
So do you think we should have women as Secret Service agents?
I do not. See, first off, it puts the guy in a position. Second thing, you saw how Trump just basically manhandled. She's hanging off of him, and he's, so the bottom line is there's another problem too. They aren't tall enough to cover him. See, there was, when Reagan got shot, one of the agents, he's got on a light blue suit. He jumps in front of Reagan and he takes a bullet to the chest. He recovers, but he takes a bullet to the chest. Supposedly, when they're hustling Reagan into the limo, a bullet hits the armor on the limo and ricochets into his back. That's what's supposed to have gone down. Brady gets shot in the head, and then he goes off on that stupid shit opposition to Second Amendment because he got shot and he got hurt personally. That's like saying I got hurt, so I'm against all constitutional principles, whatever, what the hell, which I think was selfish. But anyway, it is what it is. So he's dead now. I think he died in 2014. Interestingly, 2014 from 1981, they held that the cause of death was the residual effects of what happened back in 81. So they ruled it a homicide. Now, that's in 2014, but nobody to prosecute. So you get just a disgraceful performance by the Secret Service. And I'm not faulting individual agents. I'm faulting whoever was in command authority. That was just stinking lousy. The agents did what they were doing, but somebody should have put them in an appropriate position to begin with. Somebody should have secured these dangerous areas to begin with. There should have been helicopters over the scene. There were not. And all sorts of security lapses went on, and this woman should be fired immediately for dereliction of duty, failure of performance, and incompetence. It's not the first time this has happened where there have been some close calls with her messed up ability to manage the Secret Service agency. Anyway.
Oh, I was muted. I wanted to play this clip of her. I just had it up.
You talking about the one back when she got
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to play this. This is 18 seconds. Top women in U.S. law enforcement. Oh, did I not share it? Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
I'm sorry.
We just kind of fit into the plan. I mean, we did have certain requirements with the president that we wanted to make sure that we addressed, but we have a great working relationship with them that's been fostered over numerous years. And so I think the visit went very well on our side, and it seemed to have gone very well for Britain.
So this was an interview with Good Morning America. She was talking about how she got the job, and the title is Top Women in U.S. Law Enforcement. The problem is, and I was watching Patrick Bet David on his podcast, and he was interviewing Eric Prince, who he owns a defense company, and he is the brother to Betsy DeVos. She was Secretary of Education under Trump's first administration. And, you know,
I know her.
I know you do, but basically he was saying that, you know, when you look at Ronald Reagan, that assassination attempt, and I do have that clip, it was all men, and they got him out of there in under 5 seconds, right? Well, under 11 seconds, probably 5 seconds. But this, you see 3 women. The head of Secret Service is this woman with no law enforcement, like you said, background, no experience.
Law enforcement. She was with Secret Service, but we do not know whether it was Secret Service executive protection or Secret Service dealing with counterfeiting. See, the Secret Service originally came about to deal with counterfeiting, and they wound up getting assigned as the only effective law enforcement agency around, since you did not have the FBI at that time. That wasn't until after just for World War I with the Mann Act, which they got R. Kelly under. They were getting Jack Johnson. That's how they came into being, to get him. And before that, you had no federal law enforcement agency except the Secret Service that was supposed to ferret out counterfeiting. So they gave them the task of guarding the president. You got Lincoln shot, and Lincoln was killed because of the dereliction of an Army major who was assigned to be his protection. He got up and went downstairs to get a drink instead of guarding the president, and left Lincoln to be shot in the back of the head by Wilkes Booth. So also there's Grover Cleveland, who got shot, and Teddy Roosevelt took over after Grover Cleveland died. I think that was Cleveland. Yeah, maybe wrong. He died after 3 or 4 days after getting shot of peritonitis. They had no antibiotics then. So, you know, that's how the Secret Service got the task. But some people just simply are not going to take a bullet for somebody. And see, I suspect there's an emotional involvement. Maybe there was a little bit better security for Biden because that's homegirl's hubby. And the other thing, though, see, is the Secret Service also guards foreign dignitaries, ambassadors, and that kind of thing sometimes. And the job description means you may have to take a bullet for somebody you don't know or somebody you don't like, and it requires a certain degree of professionalism. But I look.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you
Yeah.
this, because with the Secret Service, I heard that Joe Biden was in Pennsylvania the same day, and she requested, of course, top-notch Secret Service security.
Yeah.
So it's like they gave President
Yeah.
Trump the left. Let me finish. Gave him the leftovers. So is it the president office or administration that allocates Secret Service, whether it's to former presidents or people running for presidency? Because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was saying that he was supposed to get it. He never got it. And he just got it, I think, today or yesterday, because Trump even said, listen, you have to give this man Secret Service protection as well. So is it the president?
Here, look.
Who allocates that? Who's in charge of that?
The president is the chief executive officer. He's the executive branch. Secret Service, FBI, Justice Department, Treasury Department are all under him. So he is their chief. He's the chief diplomat, but you have a Secretary of State. All right. There is the Justice Department and the Attorney General of the United States, who's in charge of the prosecutors, but the president can pardon, you see. There are the general staffs and the admiral staff, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, plural, but the president is the commander-in-chief. So the Secret Service is under him. He can override them anytime he wishes. But here's where you get it. The Secret Service is called off of guarding the next president because the current president's wife is out doing something that she does not have to do. And she's competing with the next president of the United States. So she gets to make the call as to where the security goes. And this chick is beholden to Dr. Biden, as they call her. And she splits up the Secret Service force. And by the way, I didn't add that one. That was an inadequate number of agents present on the scene. Totally inadequate. So, here you go loop-de-loop. And it's not that this hasn't happened before. Not that Robert Kennedy Sr. wasn't slain when he was campaigning. Sirhan, I mean, they've got the president. What the hell's going on? Why does this woman not tell Mrs. Biden, I'm sorry, baby, but we got to guard this guy. He's running for president. It's not even that. Why is it that, why is it such a thing to where you are saying, give me the best of the best, and everyone should be the best of the best? No, and everyone is not the best of the best. Here's the thing. Remember, technically, Trump is different from damn near any candidate in anybody's lifetime, including mine. Nobody else has previously been president of the United States and is running again. And why is that? Because he's got all of this knowledge in his head. Both Kennedy and Lyndon Baines Johnson consulted frequently with President Ike Eisenhower. He was a national treasure. So what happens is that you have Trump with all of the information that's in his head. He's to be heavily guarded because he may have a piece of information that nobody else has that is vital to the security of the United States of America. So you have two people there who have each served a full term as president of the United States. This is not somebody who has never been in the office. You do not neglect that person in favor of somebody's wife who just wants to have a function.
Right.
That's way wrong. And that's the boss's
Well,
fault.
even if she's the first lady?
Yeah. The first lady cannot veto presidential protection for another president.
Oh. But she did.
She did. That's
So
another.
who's really running the country?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You see, Woodrow Wilson had a stroke. And for months, his wife kept him incommunicado on the second floor. And back in those days, they had a different kind of attitude toward things. So the suspicion is that Woodrow Wilson was not sending word down as president and commander in chief. It was his wife. And there were some crucial things that needed to be done, one of which was they had the League of Nations that he had pushed and he got set up. But the United States did not ratify the treaty. And because the United States was not part of the League of Nations, there is a good argument that contributed to World War II happening. After World War II, the U.S. did not make that mistake, and they became a full-fledged partner of the UN. For all the problems that are there with the UN, it is what it is. And the justification of the UN for the ignorant is Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. It says it shall be the duty of the Commander-in-Chief and the Naval and Armed Forces of America to, quote, enforce the law of nations. And the UN is certainly part of the law of nations. And also Article 6 of the Constitution says ratified treaties are part of the supreme law of the land and shall be enforced by all judges, including state judges. So since the UN membership is subject to a ratified treaty that is part of the supreme law of the land, it's on the same level as the Constitution, the amendments, and such laws, not just that are regulatory, but laws that are passed to carry out the Constitution. Mm-hmm. So it is a very high level of importance attached to that, whether it is a wise thing or not, depending upon your outlook on the matter.
Well, just going back to one second. Okay. Just going back to the Secret Service, right? And the day of the failed assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life, there are reports that, like you said, it was the local police that pointed out the shooter on the roof. It was just a whole Secret Service security breakdown period.
It was a shit show.
Yes. And this clip here, it's like on this side, it's a different angle to where you could see someone on the roof. Why didn't they just go and shoot the person? Like there were snipers on other roofs, but I don't.
Well, you couldn't hear me, but the reason they didn't shoot, I explained. See, sometimes they might want reinforcements, so somebody's off duty, all right? And when the person's off duty, they say, get out here, we need you immediately. So he may not have time to put the uniform on. He just gets his weapon, his equipment, and he takes his station. I saw a situation in Los Angeles. There was no shooting, but there was a SWAT team, sniper team from the SWAT LAPD SWAT team. I knew the head of the SWAT team's sniper unit. He worked part-time as security with one of my brothers, Khalif Stewart. And there was also the Sheriff's Department sniper team. There was also the California Highway Patrol sniper team. And then there was the Secret Service sniper team. And then there were armed detectives who had rifles and they were in plain clothes. So what goes on is that you see somebody with a rifle and your assumption is, I'm sure somebody vetted this guy, but he looks suspicious. So you do what these cops did. They say, hey, Secret Service, commander, command post, we have a guy in our view. He's got a rifle and he's assumed the prone position. Is he one of ours? No response back. Hey, repeat. we have a armed person taking prone. Is he one of ours? Should we shoot or not? You see, they don't know who's up there, but whoever's in charge is supposed to. So you pull the trigger and you shoot one of your own guys. That's fratricide. That looks very bad. And then everybody's upset because they killed one of the good guys.
Did you mention that, because we talked about this earlier, that even if they have seen him, they have to get the okay from the boss?
Yeah, okay, that's rules of engagement. In other words,
which would have been that woman.
Yeah. Or whoever she appointed to be in charge of the operation, which she's responsible for. The lieutenant screws up, the captain gets his ass chewed, captain screws up, the major gets jumped, the major screws up, the colonels catch hell, and the generals jump shit.
Right. So they're calling for her to step down.
She should be. She should be flat out fired for incompetence.
Maybe so.
If that were a general and it was a military operation, they'd be fired. It happens all the time in war. You're fired.
Right.
Who is most responsible for this happening?
What I would say is that the Secret Service is responsible for the protection of the former president.
So the buck stops with you?
The buck stops with me. I am the director of the Secret Service. It was unacceptable, and it's something that shouldn't happen again.
The president and Homeland Security Secretary said today they had 100% confidence in you, but there are some members of Congress calling on you to resign.
I appreciate the Secretary's comments, and we're going to continue to be transparent and communicate with people.
Do you plan to stay on? Absolutely.
I do plan to stay on.
You screwed up. You should be fired.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe she can't be fired. She'd have to resign unless they take certain proceedings akin to impeachment against her. They could do that.
Well, I want to
need to be in.
I want to stay on the Secret Service conversation, but I want to switch gears just a little bit in regards to that, because there were some people that got in trouble. I know it was a staffer on this House of Representative Democrat. I'm going to bring his name up, but one of his staff got let go because they released an insensitive statement, about Donald Trump's assassination attempt. But you posted this. It says, sickening, Shelby County Young Democrats Chair Amber Sherman, I think this is her, celebrates the assassination attempt against President Trump. Not Trump getting shot on my birthday. The gifts just keeps coming, right?
Yeah, I've met her before. She is in the league with Beetlejuice, Fannie Willis, and Kamala Cum Queen, Humping Hyena Harris, and what's her name? Kim Fox in Chicago, and let's see, what's the other one? Letitia James and Mosley up in Baltimore. She's one of those. She's very obnoxious. And aside from being a rabid feminist, she got a big wart under her eye. And, she's not the most attractive thing in the world. So,
yeah,
I think maybe she should get a little plastic surgery and get it removed.
Right. Well, this is another person, Jacqueline Marshall. She tweeted out, I don't condone violence, but please get you some shooting lessons so you don't miss next time. Oops, that wasn't me talking. And this is she worked for Representative Thompson office, and she was let go. So
yeah, she should.
Yeah, why are people why do you think that that's okay? Like you're not supposed to do.
The last 5 years, these clowns, excuse me, not 5, last 6 years, 7 years, first year Trump's administration, these clowns have been trying to irresponsibly ramp up violence with some cupcakes out there on the streets. The George Floyd stuff, before that, every chance they got, BLM was setting up the cons so they could steal a lot of money from folk and go buy mansions in LA and pay their relatives exorbitant salaries and contribute 1/3 of every dollar they got to LGBTQIA, 1/3 to the Democratic Party, Act Blue, that's their fundraising thing, and then denounce what did they say? They are for, first thing on their agenda is they are for the destruction of the traditional nuclear family and the suppression of manhood. So, what more can we say with this? And they burnt down billions of dollars of property. Nothing happened to them. Maxine Waters is flapping her big yap about go vandalize any car or business you see where there's a Trump Pence sticker. And they created havoc, and now they created an atmosphere where the cupcakes are running around getting violent. Now, this guy was a registered Republican. We don't know if he was MAGA, but he might have had all sorts of motives. But as I mentioned earlier, what he had in common with every other one of these little sissified creeps that wants to go do something like this is he couldn't handle bullies. So that goes back to the mid 60s when this first episode, somebody was up in.
Oh, who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
The shooter. I'm just saying it's.
I don't want to talk about the shooter.
I'm not talking so much about him. I'm talking about what and who is he. But the reaction I'm looking at on X, people were saying, "Oh, he was a Republican." No, he was a sissy. So bottom line is that's what you get. Now, fortuitously, this was a very close thing. I know what happened when the shot got taken. See, AR-15s are not big weapons. They were designed because they're only 22s, just like little bitty bullets, and they deflect when there's wind. What happens is there's a roadway perpendicular to the front of the stage. A lot of people were standing in that roadway so they could have a clear view of where Trump was speaking from. But wind on a day like that will gust down that thing. So it looks like the guy was square on, and had his windage not been off, he would have hit Trump square between the eyes. Good shot, but Trump moved.
Who do you think sent him?
I don't know. Maybe he was on his own. Maybe somebody sent him. I don't know. I know on the James Earl Ray matter with King, James Earl Ray was supposed to be the lone assassin. However, it turns out he wasn't even in Memphis, and the FBI recruited 2 people from the Marine Corps sniper school in Quantico, Virginia, right across the tarmac from the FBI Academy, and they supplied the weapons and ammunition and recon the scene for them and covered everything. So they'll do that kind of thing. We don't know. And the FBI probably doesn't consider itself a friend of Donald Trump, or a lot of folk don't. And we also find that, particularly in California, they are trying to screw with FBI agents who are conservative by snatching their security clearances.
Yeah. Well, I want to move from the Secret Service in that situation to the Republican convention that's going on right now. Donald Trump, he did walk in the room tonight. I am going to switch back to the video and actually play what is happening live there. And the New York Post just posted "Wounded Warrior." So he walked in, he has the bandage on his ear. Listen, he knows how to milk it, honey, and rightfully so.
Purple Heart stuff.
Yeah, but he was never in any actual combat. But
well, I know he wasn't, but he was in a military academy. And by the way, that saying that they keep getting wrong, where he tells the Proud Boys to stand by, what he said was stand down and stand by, which means stop it and chill out. That's the translation. Stand down and stand by. It doesn't mean you're going to get instructions to go try to overthrow the government. Damn fools don't know what they're talking about. But anyway, he got a purple heart.
Whatever.
That means you get wounded in combat.
He wasn't never in combat.
That was combat.
Okay, whatever.
Anyway, former commander.
He's not. Yeah, but he's not a military person.
Well, yes, he is.
Like I would never, and I would never disrespect a veteran by placing him on the same level as a veteran.
No, you're not disrespecting a veteran. A veteran will tell you.
No, but I'm talking about a veteran that's actually went against. No, let me say what I want to say first, and then you could talk. I'm not going to sit up here and pull him on the same level as a veteran who actually was in combat, who actually went somewhere overseas in the middle of war. I'm not going to put him on that same level.
Okay, now let me back you up and let me give you the facts of the matter. Most veterans weren't in a shooting situation ever. Some were. Infantry, armor, artillery. Okay?
Yeah, that's what but the ones who got the Purple Heart.
Most of the people in the Army aren't in those 3 combat branches. But here's the thing. Everybody goes through boot camp. People die in boot camp all the time. People jump out of airplanes qualifying for airborne and die. People are sitting on the latrine taking a dump and they get wiped out and they haven't done anything. People are taking a dump on board the USS Cole when some suicide attackers come in with a small boat and blast a hole in the side. They haven't done anything heroic, but everybody understands that because if you're in it, people are right there with you. The guy next to you may get it. You don't get touched. It may be somebody that gets wiped out in a training accident. It may be somebody gets wiped out just because. So what happens is this man has been commander in chief. Okay. Who else has been commander in chief? The man that commanded more soldiers than any other general in the history of the world, Ike Eisenhower. He had 18 million troops under his command at the end of World War II. Guess what? Ike Eisenhower, unlike his buddy who was actually senior to him, George Patton, had never been in active combat, but he was commander-in-chief of the military. He would always take himself up to the front line, and his troops would always admonish him, General, get your ass back. We don't need you getting shot up. You're the chess master. But he was willing to put himself on the line.
All right.
He was the former commander-in-chief. When you are the president of the United States, how many have been assassinated or subject to an assassination attempt? In my lifetime, John F. Kennedy, an applicant, Robert Kennedy, you have Ronald Reagan, and you also have Truman got bullet holes through his coat when some Puerto Rican separatists tried to shoot him on the way he was going. I was alive then, not very much along, but I was kicking and crying. And then FDR got subject to 2 assassination attempts. That's probably one of the more individually dangerous jobs in the world, is to be commander in chief. So don't take it away from somebody.
Dangerous. I would more so say stressful and not so much dangerous, but whatever.
Stressful.
All right. I want to listen. I want to go to this RNC and I want to play this clip because this is Amber Rose speaking now at the RNC.
Hello. My name is Amber Rose. I'm a model and entrepreneur. Thank you. But most importantly, I'm a mother. My whole world revolves around providing for my children, keeping them safe, and giving them an opportunity for a better life. That's something that unites all American parents, whether we're Republicans, Democrats, conservatives, or liberals. We all want a better country for our children. But I'm here tonight to tell you, no matter your political background, that the best chance we have to give our babies a better life is to elect Donald Trump president of the United States. Now, you may be wondering why I'm up here telling you this. I'm no politician and I don't want to be, but I do care about the truth. And the truth is that the media has lied to us about Donald Trump. I know this because for a long time I believed those lies, so I'm here to set the record straight. The first person I knew who supported Donald Trump was my father. I was shocked. My entire family is racially diverse, and I believed the left-wing propaganda that Donald Trump was a racist. My father said, "No, he's not, Amber. What are you talking about?" And when I insisted, he said, "Prove it." So to prove my father wrong, I did my research and looked into all things Donald Trump. People have to do their research. I watched all the rallies, and I started meeting so many of you, his red hat wearing supporters. I realized Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love. And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong. So I let go of my fear of judgment, of being misunderstood, of getting attacked by the left, and I put the red hat on too. Thank you.
Be right back.
Love you too. I never felt more free and more love for my country than I do now. I want to thank my father, who's in the audience tonight, for opening my eyes. He served over 20 years in the US military. Thank you for your service, Dad. Where's he at? I love you, Dad. I love you. I love you so much. Thank you. When I met the president and Melania for the first time, he was kind and generous and funny as hell. Very funny. The First Lady was gracious and smart with a smile that will brighten up any room. If you're watching this tonight, you know our country is in trouble. Just like me. When you go to the store and buy food for your family, you're shocked. When you fill up your gas tank, you're pissed. I know I am. And when you turn on the news, you are just exhausted. Inflation is out of control. And you know in your heart it was not like this under Donald Trump. My message to you tonight comes from a humble place. The left told me to hate Trump, and even worse, to hate the other side, the people who support him. When you cut through the lies, you realize the truth. American families were better when Donald Trump was president. We were safer, wealthier, and stronger. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote to put money back in our pockets and good food on our kids' plates. Yes. Or, as Trump would say, it's a vote to make America great again. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I wanted to play her, because I like to throw in a little bit of pop culture. And I think they're giving these speakers probably like 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, which is good because there's a lot of speakers tonight. But she used to do the slut walk and everything. And it's funny how people do a 360. And I really do hope it's genuine. She has a father in her life, and but she chose to get into certain things and be a stripper before she became a celebrity or whatever. But listen, she is a mother. She was married. And she's supporting Donald Trump. I also heard 50 Cent is supposed to be performing sometime this week at the convention. So you always have celebrities in these political spaces, right? And we're going to get to JD Vance next, but
Oh, who is she?
Amber Rose. She was Kanye West's ex-girlfriend. She remember that slut walk thing that was going on in LA? She started that. It's called the slut walk. So it's like you know how people want to slut shame women. So she created this organization called Slut Walk, and they would have a parade kind of in reverse to, you know, praise women and women rights and pro women or whatever.
In other words, to do the exact opposite.
Yeah, but she called it Slut Walk. You never heard of Slut Walk?
No, that Cardi B thing in reverse, right?
Yeah, that's so right. So she's throwing it back at people or whatever. However, it was more like, you know, don't judge a woman by the way she dress or what she may do for a living.
Well, yeah, you dress for success. They tell men that, don't they?
Yeah, but
well, same thing with women. You say a lot about yourself with how you dress.
True. And then she has this tattoo. She got a tattoo imprinted across her forehead. She is very beautiful, very pretty. But I heard, and she got that tattoo way before she started endorsing Trump. That's when she was on her liberal side. But I also heard prior to her endorsing Trump, you know, waking up, she's, you know, she would do anything to stay relevant in Hollywood. Like I heard she could easily be manipulated, because what would possess you to tattoo a name right on your head, across your forehead?
Take it off?
No. It's permanent.
What's the name?
I don't know. I never looked it up, but let me see something real quick.
Just enlarge the picture. What does it say?
You can't see it from here. Forehead tattoo. What do it say? It says Bash. Oh, I guess it's her kid's name, Bash and Stash.
You name your kids Bash and Stash?
Wait a minute. I want to make sure I'm right.
Ooh-wee.
Wait a minute. What does it say here? Yeah, Bash and Slash written across her forehead.
You name your children Bash and Slash.
Her son is Slash and her oldest son is Bash. Yeah.
Like Bam Bam?
Bash.
I'm giving a Flintstones illusion. Bam Bam.
Oh. Yeah, so but you know what? They always politicians always reach out to entertainers because they have a large platform, right? To promote that politician's agenda, right? To get all eyes on that person's campaign. Like you are a celebrity and you are voting for Donald Trump.
It troubles me, but nobody asked me. But anyway.
You get asked, or the public always asks you. Everyone that's watching tonight, they're watching, listening. They're listening to you. They want to know your opinion. They do ask you every time you're on social media.
Nobody asked me to speak for them, but that's cool. I support him.
You want to go speak for a politician?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it. Look, before I was enlightened and I was supporting Democrats years ago, I got up and I campaigned and I spoke at I've spoken, like I said, Al Gore was a client of the law office I was with from way, way back in the beginning of the 80s. And they asked me one time when I had this show going on, I spoke at a rally and I actually got better applause than he did. Kerry Edwards. I spoke right there in support of Edwards and Kerry. it was, I think, may have been Detroit. I got a pretty good reaction from the crowd. I mean, I've done it, but it is what it is. So, yeah, but I ain't been asked recently. I guess I'm a little too radical for these guys today. They need to keep me off the stage. But anyway, I'm glad she spoke. This is a good tactic to do that. It's good when you can bring somebody in that the youth relate to. Now, you know what's funny to me is there is a change in attitude toward entertainers as celebrities. Celebrities were admired, but nobody listened to them when it came to politics until Ronald Reagan got elected governor of California. And then people started paying attention to celebrities. And Ronald Reagan had all of this stuff scripted out. So he was the only game in town. So he played the part of the John Wayne of politics, so to speak. Now, before that, the people listened to somebody who, well, when I was around before the NOM happened, you had a whole bunch of war veterans, war heroes from Korea, World War II, and World War I. And the people before me had veterans from World War I and the Civil War that they listened to, or the Indian Wars. You had celebrities who actually were involved in Hollywood, like Bat Masterson, or Wyatt Earp was active in Hollywood, the Wyatt Earp. So you got these people who were real life badasses that were also celebrities, and people listened to him. So them. But nowadays, I've been saying this, we haven't had any real live heroes for a long, long time who've actually done something. We have a lot of that. Oh my God, there were 4 seconds left in the game and he sank a 3-pointer and the Lakers win by 1 point. Have you ever seen a more heroic play? Oh my God. That's not heroism. The guy's getting paid millions of dollars a year to do what a lot of people do for play. But the thing that gets me is in this fake scene that they have, now they have somebody that just got shot, fraction of an inch away from being dead, and he's a badass. He's giving you the power fist, and he's upholding. So now they got a hero. By the way, there's one other president in there.
Well, before you get into that, we need to go into JD Vance. I don't want to go down presidential.
JD Vance, I don't have any problems with.
Wait, let me come on, stop.
Yeah, okay.
So
by the way,
today, Donald Trump selected JD Vance, senator out of Ohio, to be his vice president running mate. Now, who is he, right? Everyone just know him being the Republican senator for Ohio. But he does have a interesting upbringing. He has a best-selling memoir called Hillbilly Elegy. He's 39 years old. He is from Ohio. He went to Yale. I believe he was also in the military. So when it says, I'll be the first to admit that I've accomplished nothing great in my life, he wrote in his biography, well, his memoir. It was a bestseller in 2016. He grew up in a working class family in post-industrial Ohio. So it says in 2015, 2 years after graduating from Yale Law School, Vance joined Mid-Rail Capital, a venture capital firm run by Silicon Valley. In 2016, he announced his plans to move back to Ohio from California to start Our Ohio Renewal, a nonprofit dedicated to making it easier for disadvantaged children to achieve their dreams. In November 2022, he was elected to the United States Senate from Ohio with the help of over $10 million in donations from Thiel, Thiel, It was his first public office. Reflecting on his first encounter with Dio in 2011, Vance articulated a feeling that I was obsessed with achievement in itself, not as an end to something meaningful. He was born James Donald Bowman on August 2nd, 1984 in Middletown, Ohio. That is 30 miles north of Cincinnati. His maternal grandparents, Jim and Bonnie Vance, known as Pawpaw and Mawa, moved to Middletown in the late 1940s from Jackson, Kentucky, a town in the heart of northeastern Kentucky's coal region. Jim was 16, Bonnie was 13 when they was pregnant with Jim's child. They were not married. This was his grandparents. Vance is a descendant from hillbilly royalty on his father's side. His grandfather's distant cousins, also named Jim Vance, married into the Hatfield family and is rumored to have committed the murder that instigated the legendary Hatfield and McCoy feud.
Oh,
Vance.
He's got being badass in his genes then.
Yeah.
Vance. Killed in McCoy feud.
Vance's biological parents, Donald Bowman and Bev Vance, discovered when he was a toddler. He was later adopted. Divorced. Damn, what is wrong with me in my goddamn reading tonight? Donald Bowman and Bev Vance divorced when he was a toddler. He was later adopted by his mother's new husband, Bob Hamill, and changed his name to James David Hamill. The name change preserved his nickname JD. Bev and Bob later divorced. His mother, Bev, struggled with drug addiction. Vance was raised primarily by his grandparents, who were, he wrote in the Hillbilly Elegy, without question or qualification, best things that ever happened to me. Mawa and Papa. What are you doing?
That's enough on that, isn't it?
I wanna wait. I want to get to his education because.
Well, let's get to his education. Mawa and Wawa.
Well, is he just describing his? I want to talk. Let me finish.
Okay.
So, in his Hillbilly Elegy, Vance described their political outlook as all politicians might be crooks, but if there were any exceptions, they were undoubtedly members of FDR's New Coal Coalition. He grew up spending the summers at his great-grandmother's house in Kentucky. He says, to understand me, you must understand that I am a Scots-Irish hillbilly at heart. This Scots-Irish legacy entails many good traits, but also many bad ones. We do not like outsiders or people who are different from us, whether the difference lies in how we look, how we act, or most importantly, how we talk. After graduating from Middleton High School in 2003, he enlisted in Marine Corps, served in Iraq as corporal with Public Affairs Section of 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing. I served my country honorably, and I saw when I went to Iraq that I have been lied to, that the promises of the foreign policy establishment were a complete joke. He graduated from Ohio State University with a degree in political science and philosophy before enrolling in Yale Law School in 2010. In Yale, he attended a talk by Thiel, Thiel, about technology, stagnation, and decline of American elites.
Okay, now we're getting to something interesting. Now this is relevant. All that other stuff was just irrelevant.
Well, I think his background was very relevant.
Yeah, I know, but we could have glossed over that.
No, we could not.
Yeah, we could have.
No, we could not. And this is why, real quick. This is why.
Okay.
Because he is going to be the new vice president because Trump will win the presidential election.
Yeah, and
listen. Can I finish? I was saying why it's important. It is important that we know people's backgrounds the same way a lot of people did not know.
That's good.
What is wrong with you? Let me finish. The reason why it is important to understand people's backgrounds is because a lot of people missed President Barack Obama's background. They did not know the truth about his background because that was lied to us. So background is very important.
Yeah, that's right. Now go ahead.
I was talking. I had to mute you so I could finish talking.
I can see. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, why are you so jumpy to just jump in?
I'm not jumpy. It's just there are some things you touched on that are relevant. He's got more experience now than Barack Obama did when he got elected president of the United States. Obama had been in the U.S. Senate for 2 years. That's it. And Illinois state legislature for a year and a half. So this man has more experience in government than Barack Obama did when he got elected president. That's the relevant part. The fact that he was a hillbilly that moved to the flatlands, okay, fine.
No, you know why I brought that up? You know why I wanted to incorporate that? Because you, sir, because you always talk about history. When you talk about quote unquote hillbillies or rednecks, you will always talk about how the term rednecks came about.
Yeah.
With the Scots and the Irish. Yeah.
I got it. I mean, that was the
so
thing.
I'm talking about a mindset. You see what I'm saying? Working class.
Well, the thing that I wanted to more focus on is a lot of folk have acted nervous. He's a hillbilly. He's a redneck, white supremacist. He can't handle diversity. Well, that's when his wife's credentials come in. His wife.
I want to bring up the wife.
Yeah. Same thing as Kamala Harris. He has a Kamala at home, but she's not a fake.
Right. No, she is from, they met in college at Yale. She is daughter of Indian immigrants, and her husband's bring youth and diversity to the Trump ticket.
Yeah. And
they met, wait, let me see. She has a degree in history from Yale and a master's in philosophy from the University of Cambridge.
His major is the same as mine in college. I got accepted to Yale Law School, but went to UCLA instead. Bill Clinton and Hillary met up at Yale Law School. We would have all been there at the same time, but I didn't go. So this is common for presidents to be from Yale, Harvard, and Princeton. That's where they draft a lot of from. So it's interesting that he and his wife met up at Yale, and Hillary and Bill met up at Yale.
His wife used to be a Democrat as well.
Yeah, and Hillary used to be a staunch Republican. She was one of the Goldwater girls running around in cheerleading costumes, cheering for Barry Goldwater when he lost to LBJ. So
this is, so the thing is, you know, people don't really know too much about JD Vance. He's young. He's 39. He may be the face of the Republican Party. Who knows? However, I looked up his record in Congress as far as bills he introduced or bills that he supported. And I was surprised. One of the bills is a bill to permanently establish the E-Verify employment eligibility verification system, a bill to ensure equal protection of the law to prevent racism in the federal government and for other purposes. He sponsored that. A bill to provide for the crediting of funds received by the National Guard Bureau as reimbursement from states. Immigration and Nationality Act to clarify those classes of individuals born in the United States who are not nationals or citizens of the United States at birth. So,
yeah, he's got a pretty good record. It's a lot better than Barack Obama's. Barack Obama, for the 2 years he was in the U.S. Senate, had the lowest voting record out of the total of 100 U.S. senators, the lowest. And he also got the Heritage Foundation's award for being the third highest rated for their voting patterns. He got a 96, the number 2 man got a 96 plus, and the number 1 man got a 97. So he's done more than Obama did.
Well, what about let's compare him to Joe Biden when we talk about vice presidents as well.
Jerk ass. Biden faked a lot of what he claimed about his academic career, got busted for plagiarism a couple of times, had to withdraw from the presidential race in 1988 because his plagiarism in college and law school came out.
But this is what I wanted to bring to people's attention. Because like you said, people may automatically assume that JD Vance is a hillbilly racist or that was his upbringing. However, when you look at his track record, right? And yeah, he married an Indian woman. But when you look at his track record in Congress, and when you compare him to a Joe Biden career and his career and their background, Joe Biden is really the real racist, not a JD Vance. So, you know, you can't.
You got him a Kamala Harris at home, a Hindu. So, yeah, interesting juxtaposition of circumstances. One other thing I would put in here, too, and it's an important thing, I think, is that an admonition to our woke friends. I can hear it now. What's his position on reparations? Well, I don't know, but I really don't care right now. It'd be good if he supported reparations, but there's so much else that also needs to be done. We can't let it hang on just one simple issue, to wit reparations. Plus, the man he's working with has already got the platinum plan.
I don't want to talk about it. I really don't.
I don't either, but I'm just saying I can hear it right now. A lot of the woke folk we deal with on Tuesday with the egg space are going to start hollering about what.
Let's
just saying.
Wait, let's table that for Thursday.
I am tabling it. Listen to me. I'm just saying before we get into it tomorrow on X space, there are other things that are also important and that we need to consider. And when we look at this man's background on paper, he's got more experience than Barack Obama had when Obama got elected to president in terms of the legislative function and the operation of government. He's introduced some very interesting legislation already that is responsible, unlike Barack Obama, who introduced basically none but supported some BS. We have a lot going for this guy. He is fundamentally fair. And I think he would be a good good working chief of staff, so to speak, with Trump, whom we need badly. And that is what I'd say on that. And I have a new saying. We need a new TV set. You get it?
No.
You don't? TV?
Mm-mm.
You don't get it?
No.
Trump Vance said we need a new Trump Vance team.
That was so fucking corny.
It's not corny.
I don't know. You thought of that joke?
Yeah, it's not a joke. It's a slogan. Think of it.
That's a corny ass slogan. I'm sorry, that is so corny. No, I get it now. I get it, but it's still corny.
It's not
corny as hell.
Be a joke. It's we need a new TV set. Tune into the TV show. It's time to change channels on your TV. See, in other words, it's a built-in saying that people will get on their minds, which if the Republican Party runs with it, they'll have something like, although he had the foulest mouth in the history of the U.S. Army, they used to say, Smiling Ike. You see?
Yeah. Let me just read a couple more of the bills that he sponsored and co-sponsored. No Bailouts for Campus Criminal Act, Fixing Administration Unethical Corporate Influence Act, Continuous Skilled Nursing Quality Improvement Act, a bill to prohibit the use of funds to implement, administrator, or enforce certain rules of environment protection agencies, East Palestine Health Impact Monitoring Act, Stop Subsidizing Giant Merger Act, College Employment Accountability Act. So listen, you have to see, when you see these people that they are nominating to be part of their cabinet or positions, in their administration, especially if they're coming for Congress, you got to look at their voting record on bills and bills that they sponsor, co-sponsor. You have to look at that. That is important. The background is important, like I said, because everybody thought that Barack Obama was Black, that he came from humble upbringings, a single mother, poor, Black on the Black hand side, and it was a lie. It was a lie. And if we actually paid attention and did some digging, and you didn't have to dig because he put it in a book before he even ran for president. So if we actually read the book and did research, you would have known it was a lie, and then maybe we just would have voted more objective, right? Even if you still would have voted for him. So
it wouldn't have made any difference the first go around. They would have voted for him.
First go around, yeah.
I didn't, because I knew he was a fake. I can recognize him. I saw enough of him back in the 60s.
Yeah. I think this is a good duo. I think he'd be better than Pence.
It's TV time.
Oh, God. Please, you want to keep saying that slogan?
Yes, TV time. That's the slogan. You can remember it. It's catchy. You say it a lot. People will say, yeah, TV time. Subconsciously, they'll be thinking that when they walk in the polls, and the Negroes won't be afraid to leave the plantation. Say, leave the plantation. It's TV time. Come take a look.
Well, there you go. Our next vice president, JD Vance. Hillbilly Elegy.
Scotch
and Irish.
Scotch Irish.
I do have a question. Do you think it's a difference between the two conventions, the Republicans and the Democrat? Yes, I think the Republican convention is very conservative. It is more.
They'll do a lot of dancing at the Democratic convention.
Oh, it's going to be soulful. They're going to be getting, and okay, so this is listen. I really do hope 50 Cent do perform at the RNC, because whatever band that they have, and during intermission, you have like live entertainment bands. They were so corny. I don't even know who that band was, right? My thing is, I'm sorry, Republicans and the Republican National Committee, y'all do need to mix it up. I'm sorry. Yeah, you do need to. When I say diversify, I'm not even talking about just on official levels, but where's the entertainment? Now,
need any entertainment.
Wait, no. They had entertainment, and it was a white band. I don't know who it was, but they were kind of corny. White people listen to Smokey Robinson. They listen to jazz. They listen to Black artists. Black it up just a little bit.
Yeah, they can do that. I mean, but I'm not impressed by music as having a damn thing to do with who's going to run the government, unless maybe it's martial music to get people fired up and ready to fight. But yeah, okay, fine.
So it's like the RNC, how can I describe it? Their dinner plate is going to be, vegetables with some lamb, maybe some beef, a good beef steak or whatever, a salad, some potatoes, good hearty American dish, right? Middle American dish. And the DNC, the Democrats, when they have their convention, their dish is going to be chitlins, hog maw, collard greens. No. They're going to have some ribs.
You go into the Democratic thing, I can tell you from looking at it out in Hollywood, they're going to have couscous, and they're going to have nibbling cheese and pink wafers and chablis.
No, I don't. No,
they're not going to have. No.
I just
those bourgeoisie Negroes are going to eat a damn.
Okay, so this is the thing, Judge.
After they get out of Atlanta.
Listen. I agree with you, right? That's how they get down. That's how they eat. But I told you, Democrats know how to pander to every group, especially Black people.
So you're probably right. They'll do that.
Yes, remember they was giving out free collard greens and black eyed peas and cornbread in Georgia, probably in Fulton County. If you come and vote and then sign up to register, they'll give you free collard greens. They had a long ass line. So yeah, they're gonna bring all that.
Tell the Negro boys to come on up there. We got some good collard greens. They've been picked good and mixed with some mustard, and we got some turnips and everything, and some candied yams, and some dressing, and some hog maws, and some chitlins. We feed them real good. Tell them boys.
Yeah.
Go on to around to the back of the kitchen there.
Right. Let me get to the super chats. Bob Gable, Judge, it looks like a setup to me. I guess he's talking about the Saturday assassination thing. Bob Gable again. By the way, the suspect just stumbled on the weak point. The homie says, Dana, stop buying computers off to me. I thought that was funny, so I had to highlight that. No, this is a Apple, a Mac. Cheryl the Pearl, ING Man, 3 Secret Service, 1 finally. What's that say? Lone G Man?
That was the name they gave to Melvin Purvis, who was a homicidal maniac that the FBI hired as a special agent. He was known as G-Man, a government man.
Okay. Wait, I wanted to hire somebody.
That's where the term came from.
Okay. Rachel, now the FBI who raided Trump's house had 2-year Russia investigation and suppressed laptop will look into this. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust the FBI as far as them wiping their ass with a fresh roll of toilet paper.
Reba, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Daryl, infantry, armor, artillery, and aviation. Okay. Bob Gable again, Judge, do you
aviation component in the Army? Yeah. That's right. You got to throw them in, those AH-64 Apaches. Yeah.
Judge, do you remember Huey Long?
I know who he is. I don't remember him personally, but I know who he is. From Louisiana.
Okay. Daily, the band at the RNC Convention was terrible. Yes. Okay, so I'm not the only one. Now listen, if they would have had Fleetwood Mac, the Chicago, or it's some great bands out there. I'm sorry. Why would you pick
Why
that?
would you waste time on that?
Because they were on the stage.
Well, you why waste time on the stage?
Wait, stop, Judge. Because apparently you've never been to those type of conventions. Listen, let me finish. It's an all-day thing.
I know.
So in intermissions, you have to have entertainment.
Look, the people that are getting the entertainment aren't making the things happen back in the back rooms where the conferences are going on. That's where the action is.
Yeah, it is. But I'm like, us on TV watching and people watching through the intermission, so that's why they have the entertainment for the people on TV. And it's like, okay, can you have something better than that? It was corny. The band was corny. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, the band was corny. Why bother? What they need to do
is get something better.
I'll make a suggestion to them. You might start playing some of this stuff with the Nazis back in 1932, 33, 34 in Germany, as a reminder of what they're opposing right now and why they're where they are.
Jaron, you so messy. What if they have JJB BBQ sauce at the DNC?
That's nice, but that's irrelevant.
They ain't gonna have it unless if they do have it, they're gonna probably throw darts at it.
What, at the Democratic Party thing?
At the Democrat convention.
Somebody wanted me to get an award and wanted to know if I'd come. And they said Maxine Waters was going to be. They said, no, I'm not taking the award. Thank you, but I appreciate it. Say not my brand.
You don't got to take a picture with her.
No, I'm not going to be in the same place with her.
Oh, because, yeah, they'll be like, why the judge was there? They already calling you a sellout. But those are the people on X.
Some bootlicking Negroes that love their white masters on the plantation won't come off. They haven't done anything except shoot their ignorant mouths off. They haven't been out in the field and done anything. They haven't paid any dues. They're punk asses. They'll run. They're scared. And, you know, they want to go take somebody down. Well, you know, screw it. I don't care.
I keep forgetting to put your Cash App. You need to put your Cash App where your name is at. I can't be remembering all the damn
I
time.
don't even know what the hell the damn thing is. Money is good, I guess, but I've never been about money.
Moderators, I think they were putting it in there. I think they were putting the Cash App in there. Let me see 1 second. What is this? Yeah. I want to say thank you to I About It Diaz. Thank you so much. That was a lovely Cash App that you sent me. And thank you to Jaron. He says you killing it with the breeze. So that was from last week. I didn't read it. Thank you. And love how your platform, the Judge and New Look. Thank you. That was from Cyrus Tyson. I think I said thank you to these two, but Diaz, thank you for the Cash App. And you guys, if you see the Judge Cash App going across the screen, I meant to put his Cash App where his name is at. And you could go to get the barbecue sauce. Yes. Oh my God, I gotta write stuff down. I keep forgetting my sponsor, Highest Paid. Moderators, can you put the sponsor? The link is in the description. And I won't forget to promote it on Thursday. So Diamond Dave, he has a company called highestpaid.online. You could sign up 30% off with the promo code Dana30, and you can learn about the stock market and make money. And so it's you're learning a trade, you know, that you could do casually, you know, whenever, or you could do it full time as a career, but you can make money in the stock market, and that's what he teaches you, right? So yeah, Highest Paid. And I meant to mention that in the beginning, and I'm so sorry that I didn't.
Naughty.
Anything else?
Thank you to the people that sent me something for my birthday. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were sending stuff, which is great. And but then going forward, listen, if you love what the judge is doing, you love what he's saying, you know, and you want to say thank you via Cash App, this is his Cash App, you know, and it's in the description below. My moderators always put in the chat. I meant to pin it, but it's $RIKIL Stone, Ricky L. Stone, $Ricky L. Stone. Yeah, just send a Cash App showing your appreciation.
Chief of Staff, by the way.
Yes.
That's my niece, actually.
All right, tomorrow we will be on X, and honey, yes, I said that all you Democrats, white, black, it don't matter, y'all gonna be up, y'all gonna stay in your feelings tomorrow, because we are going in on these Democrat coons. Gotta talk about the phoniness. So we going in on the Democrats on the X space tomorrow, guys.
The Democrats, the Rainbow Crats, the Dazies, the Democrats hooked up with the Nazis. They are fascist, and they want to accuse everybody else of that. They really try to flip the script.
Dan, what are you talking about? And this it's like we were going so good, and it's always someone. What are you talking about?
What does it say?
Okay, Dana, ease up on the judge a little bit. I didn't say nothing to her. What are you talking about?
He hasn't said anything bad about me.
Don't you know he don't care? He don't care. Nothing phases him.
We used to do that for fun in junior high school, elementary, high school. Hey man, I don't want to say nothing about your mama.
Does he get anything from Super Chats? What do you mean? No, what are you talking about? Well, what are you talking like? Why do black, and you had to be black? Why do y'all always pocket watch? Don't you know I was on News Twitter? He did at X Space, and he invited me to come on because he wanted to do a review of the X Space that we did last week, Tuesday, which was 6 hours. And I'm not doing that long again. and we just so happened we was talking about reparations. I'm not even going to talk about reparations anymore. If I do, I'm actually going to have people come on who are actually doing stuff. But anyway, it's so many people that came up in there, and it wasn't no review because they wasn't even the ones in our space. And if they were, they was just listening and they didn't come up to speak. They're so upset with you. They're upset with me, and because they didn't like the title or the judge. He's against reparations. And it's like, let me tell
reparations. I just think you need to spend it's like gambling or putting your money down on a lottery, okay, fine, but don't spend all your time on it. If you win, you win. You don't move on with your life or keep your life moving.
Right. But so the point I'm trying to make is, as far as people pocket watching, they kept saying monetize, you're doing it for monetization, money, and the judge on your platform. Don't worry about how much I make. Do I ask how much you make? Stop worrying about, well, do the judge get this? He don't get shit.
I will tell you now, I get nothing.
He don't get shit.
This is out of the goodness of my heart, because some people go out and mentor children. I try to mentor grown folk who need it. So I'm trying to spread the word.
And they're so mad. And this is what I want to say. And not for the ones who are not mad, like the ones who support, you support. So this is for all of the haters. I love it, because if you don't have anybody hating on you, you not popping. You have to have adversaries. You have to, because it's like a loser. How can a loser tell me that I'm losing? No, how can a loser who keep losing trying to tell a winner on how to win? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you got that problem. A whole lot of them out there that don't hate the player, they used to say. But anyway, people who haven't done anything want to be critical, and if somebody doesn't go rah, oh, great job, when it's a lousy job, why lie to somebody? You're not helping them out. If somebody is trying to do something, give them a little coaching. And who am I to coach? That's been there, seen that, done that an awful lot of times.
Let me just acknowledge this before we get out of here. Hi, Dana. Do you have a live stream before 9? Well, Mondays and Thursdays with the judge, I don't. And it's because of the judge. It's his fault. I want to start at 8. He wants to start at 9 because he's on Central Time. So he's 1 hour behind me. I'm on Eastern. But he needs that extra hour. Why? I don't know.
Because I sometimes eat, and it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I'm supposed to be retired. So how long were we on Tuesday? 6 hours. We're usually on 2 or 3 on Monday, and the same thing, if not longer, on Thursday. And then I do 3 hours on Friday, and then other shows.
No, she said, why can't we start like at 8 instead of 9?
Because I need the time. I have a little bit of business to deal with.
Yeah, he act like he's so busy, right? But he want to claim he retired because he's not retired.
Yeah, I know. I'm not retired. People are always asking me for stuff. Let's see. I had lunch with the editor of a newspaper.
Well, we didn't ask for your schedule today.
No, I'm just saying a lot of stuff you have to do. I had to deal with some people around and about the house, 3 different crews going on around here trying to restore stuff. Let's see, what else? 2 or 3 disasters. Somebody wanted not advice, but explain what was going on with the court system.
Southern Bell said you was busy eating.
I haven't eaten all day. As a matter of fact,
why not?
I forgot.
See how and that's your problem. See, now you just told on yourself. You mean to tell me you went all day today without eating?
I haven't had a thing to eat.
That's not good. See, you keep playing. You keep playing.
I understand, but I'm busy.
What the hell? Just needs time so he can get some.
So I'm doing that. So I have had 3 cups of coffee all day. That's all.
No, that's not no food.
I know. Well, I'm doing this. I haven't had a chance to
Honey,
eat.
you had all day to eat something.
I got up.
Don't blame it on me.
I got up this morning at 6:30.
Yeah, you could have ate something then.
And then I've been going since 6:30. And for me, the time is, what is it right now? It's
No,
10 o'clock.
it's no excuse.
Yeah, but I got busy. I didn't.
And that little heifer of yours should have bought you a plate. And
What
I ain't
heifer?
talking about Ricky. I'm not talking about Ricky. I'm talking about that heifer.
I know which one you're talking about, but the woman works.
I don't care. She should have came after work with something.
Well, she couldn't because she had to go deal with.
Why you keep giving excuses for her?
Well, I'm just saying she had to go deal with taping her son, who, by the way, has gone viral on.
I really don't care. All right, we about to go.
Karate.
Yeah, that's nice.
Pretty
That's
good.
nice.
He's a good
Thank you,
black
Cheryl the Pearl, for the donation. I really don't give a damn. All right, say goodnight, Judge.
Oh, I get permission? Wow, we whoop-de-doo.
How about this? How about not only do you get permission, but you better, when you get off the air, you want to go in that kitchen and make you a can of soup. You're going to eat something now. You're going to eat something right now. Because if you don't, I am going to call Ricky.
Well, my niece is formidable. I'll give her that.
So
I had a weird experience. She sent a brother over who is.
Can we end the show? I'm tired.
She sent a brother over who is a nephew to work, and another nephew that I hadn't seen since he was yay high. And he said, "Unc, don't you recognize me?" I said, "Hell no. Who the hell are you?" When he told me, I said, "Damn, I haven't seen you since you were that long." You know. Strange.
Thank you, Judge.
So quickly. He had a big beard. Anyway.
Good night. And you're going to go get something to eat right now.
Be strong. I think we're starting a new era. I can feel a paradigm shift going on right now. I think there's going to be a backlash against a lot of filthy mess that's out there. I think people are going to have to start focusing a bit, and I'm trying to do my part. You're trying to do yours, and everybody tuned in is trying to do theirs so they can get on top of the wave. So let's be strong. Let's go out and do it, and let's not get bamboozled. And you belong to nobody. You are free and independent. Nobody owns you, so don't act like you're on some plantation with all of the formidable walls that you can't climb all in your mind. So get it out of your head, be alive, be free, be successful, and be enterprising.
All right. And with that, we will see you guys Thursday, and we will be on X tomorrow.
Mary.
Good night.
Tune in to the new TV show.